What is the mood? What are clients telling you at this point in the year?
I think at this point in the year, as usual, they are very curious. They are cautiously optimistic that we are entering into a phase of the world which is a little bit more stable than last year. Interest rate, monetary easing, all these are relatively benign. So investors are looking to deploy. And of course, with the MSCI inclusion step increases last year, global institutional investors want to look at A-shares very carefully, more broadly, more deeply as well. And on the corporate side, a lot of multinationals which have either invested or are thinking to invest are thinking about the foreign ownership limits being relaxed and trying to make China work better for them. So I think there are good potential dialogue both on the institutional side and on the corporate side.
So a year when more capital is deployed, as you say, at the institutional side, some of those corporates, but also on an individual level as well. We know investors have been holding cash back. You think that deployment is going to pick up in 2020?
I think so. So UBS is the largest wealth manager in the world, and in this part of the world, they're all looking at potentially how to make more money in a very low interest rate environment. So whether it is bond, we are going to expect another very big year for offshore bond issuance. But also they are also looking for ways to grow onshore in China as it becomes easier to invest in the domestic capital markets for foreign institutional and individual investors.
So for UBS then, if you take all of that into account, what do you expect to be the biggest drivers of revenue across the investment banking business in the APAC region this year?
I think traditionally for UBS, I think Australia and China are our two biggest markets. We expect the picture to be broadly the same, but China for sure is going to get a lot of attention this year. And I think our key strategy theme is to be global and local. We need to serve the global clients very well, but we also need to be here on the ground to offer them differentiated service, whether it is our research, whether it is our corporate access. We need to do things for them that no other local houses or foreign banks can do.
Do you expect M&A activity to pick up?
I think so. It is both two ways, both inbound and outbound. I think for those who have existing presence in China, they would reevaluate. So, for instance, we helped a large U.S. insurance company last year to increase their stake in their existing China subsidiary last year because the foreign ownership limits has come down. We also helped a beer company to restructure their China operation because they want to grow bigger, faster by partnering up with a Chinese major conglomerate. So these are the type of themes, either for those who have already been in here already, or alternatively are now thinking about entering China.
And what is the IPO pipeline looking like?
I think it's decent. It will surround the same sectors which have been very attractive for investors, like the new economy, like consumption, healthcare. I think those will be the key sectors. Now, valuation-wise, people have to be realistic because after the types of WeWork type of issue, investors will be a little bit more cautious. They won't be buying anything and everything. But with that, I think the good companies will definitely come to the market. So we are very hopeful for 2020.
There was some breaking news a couple of minutes ago from one of your major competitors, Goldman Sachs, in terms of adding headcount in the mainland. What are your priorities for expanding the business here in China?
So we've been in China for a long time. Our domestic securities subsidiary, UBS Securities, we have been operating that for 12 years now. We raised to 51% at the end of 2018. So we already have a substantial presence, but definitely over the next medium term, I would say 3 to 5 years, we think that business will continue to grow. And particularly for the banking side, I think we will definitely be adding headcount as well going forward.
What kind of numbers are we looking at in terms of headcount additions?
I think, from a 3 to 5 year medium term view, I would say, doubling that is quite achievable.
Doubling that headcount
yes.
within the next 3 to 5 years?
That's right.